Prince Jorah, Bram, and Lyle were in the Martell family's living room. The prince, adorned in a yellow robe bearing a 5-clawed dragon, exuded an intense aura, casting an ominous shadow. The room was dark as only one candle had been lit, and it was barely providing enough light for them to see one another. Even so, the prince still noticed the beads of sweat on Bram's and Lyle's foreheads and the panicked expressions on their faces. He stared at them.
Are you trying to tell me that there's someone else out there who's managed to cultivate the heavenly sword technique?
As soon as he asked the question, the smile disappeared from his face. A powerful force emanated from him, and the horrible, suffocating pressure made it hard for Bram and Lyle to catch their breath.
Please don't hurt us. I've already asked someone to ruin his cultivation. I'm sure the only reason he's still alive is so that you could kill him yourself. I didn't think he was going to go on some kind of quest, though. Over the past few days, he's disappeared several times.
Prince Jorah had a strange smile on his face as he gently patted Bram on the head like a small child.
Of course, I would never usually ask you to move against this man's friends and family. However, you'd better make sure that no one else manages to cultivate that technique before the martial arts competition. Otherwise, you'll regret it.
Since Zane was in the dragon prison, he had no idea that a royal guest had been welcomed into Kintyre County. His eyes were firmly closed as the vital energy within his body transformed into countless tiny hammers that continuously knocked against his skull. If someone was able to see through his skin, they would immediately notice the layer of silver wrapped around the inside of his head. In fact, all the bones in his body had become much stronger than before. Suddenly, a wave of energy was released from Zane's body with a loud boom. When he opened his eyes, an icy glint shot out from his gaze, and finally, he looked down in satisfaction at his body. In less than 5 days, he had once again progressed and had managed to reach the 6th stage of body tempering. Hardly anyone in the whole of the Yarrow Kingdom could advance at such an alarming rate. Zane gazed down at his handiwork and noted the hair-sized bolt of lightning that had taken root within his energy center. Surprisingly, it seemed to be sprouting, and he could only surmise that dark sky thunder grew like a plant and would rely on his internal power to thrive in his energy center. He thought,
I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. If it grows anymore, its destructive power will be terrifying. My energy levels are likely to be reduced as well. Then again, it's always been difficult to choose between concentrating on battles or making breakthroughs.
Lost in thought, he was startled when a mysterious black ball appeared near the seedling of the dark sky thunder. It was pitch black, and wisps of gas were seeping out of it. At first glance, it looked like a seed of vital energy.
It can't be, can it?
He strained his eyes to look at the pair of cracks developing on the outer layer of the ball and saw that vital energy was leaking from the fissures.
It really is a seed of vital energy.
Zane was excited beyond belief. Most would need to attain the 9th stage of body tempering and undergo the cleansing of the body thrice to create such a seed. Yet here he stood, merely at the 6th stage, having achieved the impossible. Although the seed had yet to mature, it was already releasing a small amount of vital energy. That meant he would be able to execute the separation of vital energy alongside other martial arts skills. There were still 2 days until the next martial arts competition, and Zane planned on continuing his work until he achieved his final breakthrough in the Dragon Prison. Recalling his study of the star map at the Assembly of Stars, he mused on the constellation's intricate movements. A complex constellation had continually moved in a particular direction, going round and round as if everything in nature was flowing away. His head suddenly snapped up. He thought,
Wait a minute. Is everything flowing away? Does a star map represent a type of bodily technique? It's as if a cultivator is like a star in the universe, hiding away using different orbits, and everything has its own course set out before it. I understand how it works now.
As soon as he came to that realization, the dark shadow suddenly began to move. A gust of wind stirred beneath Zane's feet, while a flash of light enveloped him as if he were being swallowed up by the stars. It was almost as if the dark shadow had transformed into a star in the universe, and its movements were fleeting, meaning it was impossible to track. Hours passed as Zane delved into these cosmic mysteries, becoming a part of the celestial expanse but still detached. He decided to employ the first stance of the 3-star step, a special martial arts technique focused on speed and reflexes. Immediately, his feet began to emit a colorful glow, and his entire body suddenly disappeared from its initial position. A dazzling glint of starlight flashed across the air, and in less than a second, Zane found himself in the wilderness, 500 yards away. Then with a whoosh, he disappeared again. A colorful beam of light streaked across the sky, and he ended up back where he started. Zane thought,
That was only the first stance. But it's already so fast. If I were to execute all 3 stances in quick succession, I'm not even sure if an expert at the foundation level would be able to match me.
By the end of the week, Kintyre County was bustling with more activity than ever before. The city gates saw a constant stream of people, some hawking their goods, others chatting, even bickering as they moved in and out of the city. The streets leading up to the city gates were already occupied by stall owners, who were selling all manner of goods. Many outsiders had come to see what was going on that day. Bald monks mingled with bare-chested strongmen and warriors atop intimidating demonic beasts that sent shivers through the crowd. Dazzling red carpets were laid out on the stone pathway, while soldiers stood guard on either side. Overhead, 2 griffins, ridden by formidable 8-stage body-tempering soldiers, surveyed the spectacle from the skies. Directly below them, 3 huge arenas had already been set up. 5 rows of metal wood were set up around the arenas, collectively emitting a strong wave of vital energy. A large crest representing the royal coat of arms also hung on the city gates. Above this grandeur, Malik sat next to Prince Jorah, Lyle, and Ezra Flint, who was the patriarch of the Flint family. The prince looked down at everything below him and forced himself to smile politely, but he silently refused to wave his hand to greet the people below. Lyle turned to him and swallowed nervously.
You can rest assured that I've done everything that was expected of me. I swear on my life that Zane will show up. He's very close to Amara. The moment he stumbles into our trap, we'll kill him.
He gritted his teeth as Prince Jorah continued to observe the arena below them. After a long pause, the prince finally responded.
I can't believe you're cruel enough to involve a young woman in this. I never told you to do that, so this is on you and your son. You promised me that I'll be the sole possessor of the heavenly sword technique in the world after this competition is over. And that's all I care about.
He shot Lyle a piercing look, and Lyle swallowed hard, aware of how high the stakes were.
Can't wait for more? Catch the next episode tomorrow. And if you are ready to binge the whole series, download our app now. Tap the link in our bio to start your journey.